Because since our foreign adversaries know that we're just not going to do anything, we're just going to sit this one out. That just basically invites them to do more. Does a weak president invite this sort of behavior to continue? I say yes. And I mentioned this earlier in one of the videos I did on Monday, I think, about all the gas shortages that are in my state that I currently occupy and other states around me. Now, I did go out and get some 6 gallons of gas in my antique vehicle. There wasn't really a problem. I had to go to the second gas station because they weren't taking my card. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is weird. But again, the potato's weakness is encouraging cyber attacks. And it is. And if you think it doesn't, then look at what happened to Jimmy Carter and when Iran was overthrown and our embassy staff was taken hostage for over a year. What happened? What did he do? Well, he tried to send some special operations forces. And this is why the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment was created, is because of this failed attempt to go in and retrieve our embassy staff being held hostage by the very violent Iranians. But now we got something similar. We have a cyber attack that attacked a company that basically, I don't know, what is it, 45% of the total fuel delivery? It's not that we don't have fuel, we do, we just can't deliver it. And they shut the pipeline down because of the hackers that presumably are in Russia. So what is our president doing right now? That's right, nothing. Not that we know of. Maybe he's doing something. Highly unlikely, because you would hear something about it. You would see this goddamn potato out there trying to do something. He'd be out there in front of the freaking cameras. Case in point, look at what Trump did. Anytime something happened, he was out in front of the cameras going, hey, look, I'm doing something. Now we got a potato who's occupying the White House, the former vice president. What is he doing? Not a goddamn thing. Not that I can see. You tell me out there, boys and girls. Tell me in the comments. What is a potato doing right now? What is he doing? Not that I know of. So his response administration, shockingly, is to assert, because the Colonial Pipeline is a private entity, paying them ransom to stop the attack was a private company's decision. This is a total abdication by the potato of his duty to protect the United States. It's shocking. And not only shocking, it's shameful. So according to this guy, he says, what is explained to him at the War College there in Fort Benning, I think it's called WinSec now, but by top military experts, was that part of what makes cyber attacks so dangerous is that there's no rules of engagement have been set to regard them. Put simply, we have no idea at what point a cyber attack would trigger a conventional military response. In my opinion, I don't think it requires that. You need to go deep and dark on this and find out who these people are. And I guarantee it, they know who these people are. But what are they doing to respond to this attack? We don't know, because they're not doing anything. See, given this, bad foreign actors are pushing the boundaries to see how far the United States will let them go. The potato has sent a very, very clear message that they will cripple our country with little response. And I say zero response. The military has a name for the worst case scenario of a cyber attack. It is called Cyber Pearl Harbor. This is not hyperbole. In order to model the potential damage of attack shutting down American power grids, the military uses the effects of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. The storm killed over 3,000 people and devastated the island. The Colonial Pipeline attack shows how easy a cyber Pearl Harbor would be able to be pulled off. And it is. You see it right now. And it's not necessarily, there's pockets of each state that are currently being affected. The current place that I'm in right now, in the South, it's not really affected. Now, I didn't go out and drive. I think I'm going to and check it out. Maybe I'll do a video on it and kind of point out. But I don't really see much going on. Now, there are other parts of my state that are affected. Long lines, especially in the big capital city. Of course, you're going to see that. The potato administration suggests that private firms should beef up their cybersecurity. How about just not connect it to the freaking grid? That would make more sense. Have it more decentralized, where if you want to do something, you have to get, a person, make a phone call. Hey, John, why don't we do this? Okay, we're going to do this. Well, then why don't you do this? Got it. And then you have a decentralized system. It wouldn't make any sense to have it controlled by one area where it's vulnerable to attack from the outside. Doesn't make sense, does it? Make no mistake, the United States has a massive cyber capability. Donald Trump employed some of it in a cyber attack on Iran's Revolutionary Guard in June of 2019. That was a strong action by a president who didn't ask permission from France and the UN to protect its own nation, but is also a message: if you hit us, we'll hit back twice as hard. By contrast, the potato has sent the weakest possible message to our forces regarding cyber warfare. He has shrugged his shoulders at the idea of actually paying DarkSide, which it shouldn't, which operates either with the approval of Putin's Russia or with its acquiescence. This is worse than Chamberlain appeasing the Nazis. It's more like Chamberlain paying the Nazis. Much of the appeal to the Biden and to his supporters was actually he was steady, predictable. You could be fairly sure of how he would react to his crisis. By the book, not making waves. Donald Trump, by comparison, was a loose cannon in foreign affairs. His domestic detractors worried he would drop a nuclear bomb. But so did our enemies. Not under Sleepy Joe. It's not an open game on America. Nefarious groups and governments have learned they can attack our digital systems for the fun and profit. And basically just to test us. Joe Biden has failed. He's a failed piece of shit. He's failed us. Donald Trump was awesome when it comes to this because, like I said, I just read, he didn't know what he was going to do. He could have done nothing and kept quiet, and then later on, nuked the shit out of your general of the Iranian National Guard on someone else's foreign soil. And what did Iran do? Not a goddamn thing, because they knew better. Now we have boats out in the Persian Gulf harassing our Coast Guard and Navy for trying to keep that supply line open. And what is the potato doing? Not a fucking thing. Because he's fucking weak. Mentally and physically. This is Joe Biden's first major foreign policy test, and he failed. He's not failing. He's failed. As potential gas shortages loom and further attack on the pipeline, the potato's unbecoming weakness is inviting more of the same. A strong response to this attack is needed. One will deter future actions. The potato's proven he is not up to the task. He's out of his depth. Today's Cold War engaged against Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and others is not about nuclear bombs. It's about cyber attacks. There is no mutually assured destruction to stay the hand of the bad guys. This is a gradual fight in which our enemies will push further and further until we respond with force. And my friends, reacting like this with nuclear response or even a conventional response is not the way to go. Because that means we're lashing out. We're just pissed off. Because since our foreign adversaries know that we're just not going to do anything, we're just going to sit this one out. That just basically invites them to do more. The Department of Defense does not speak lightly when it calls cyber attacks the greatest threat facing America. But the potato doesn't seem to care. The American people will pay the price for his cowardice. And we will pay it sooner rather than later. And that, there, my friends, is the end of that. You see, when we boil this down, the potato is totally feckless, weak, just mealy-mouthed, just kind of like, I don't want to do anything. He's more concerned about social identity, social politics, woke culture. He's more worried about that. He's more worried about getting people in our military so they can get transitioned from men to women or women to man. He's more worried about that. He's more worried about gun control and then outside threats. That's all you need to know about this president. Weak, feckless, mealy-mouthed. Basically, in other words, or in one word I could think more suitable for the potato's more response to anything, he's a big fucking pussy. A big, stinky, fucking, just dried up fucking just vag. Just a fucking pussy. Doesn't want to do a goddamn thing because he just want to rock the boat. Well, goddamn it, rock the fucking boat, you fucking pussy. Because if you continue with this bullshit, all you're doing is inviting more attacks on our cyber infrastructure.